Hey guys, so we're going to be doing a pick a card reading for what is the message, or what would my true love, define that how you will, twin flame, soulmate, or whatever, just the person you feel like is the one who's meant for you. What is their message to you today? So the person in the world who is most meant for you, what's their message to you? So you can either pick the reading on the left or the reading on the right. And so I guess what differentiates them is the leaf here. So this would be reading 1. And this would be reading number 2. I do not have any idea what tree these came from. So bonus points if you can let us know in the comments. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Just a moment. Okay, so this is going to be reading number 1. Those of you who chose this leaf, we're going to look at 6 tarot cards. And then, well, I already told you in the intro what we're looking at. And then finally we get a fortune cookie at the end. So this is what your true love wants to say to you. And I'm just going to trust that everything is showing up on the camera pretty well. I guess I'll double check. So that we have the King of Wands, the Four of Pentacles. Let me zoom just a little bit. King of Wands, Four of Pentacles, Six of Cups, Four of Cups, we have the Three of Swords, no big deal, and then the Ten of Pentacles. So, okay, already the message that I'm getting from this person who you think is your true love, who you think of as your true love, and who may very well be. So the first overall message that I'm getting from this person is that they're starting to recognize now that in order to ever really be with you successfully, they're realizing now that requires a lot of hardship. And so they're looking over the past of what you've experienced so far, and they're thinking, okay, I see at that time in my life how I probably should have stepped things up a little bit more and been willing to take on a little bit more responsibility towards making this happen. I feel like they're starting to see the amount of hard work that you put into it. And they're appreciating that a lot right now. So that's the first message that's coming through. I'm also getting the message that, this person felt a little overwhelmed in the past about their ability to keep you. I mean, for lack of a better word, they wanted to be with you, but they felt almost like they weren't sure that they would be able to to maintain the relationship, to keep the relationship going. They're like, for all I know, there's someone from her past even that I've never even met. Like I know who the competition is around me, who I see around us, but I don't know there are these other question marks of the past. And so they're thinking about that time right now for whatever reason. And they're realizing that you tried to offer them something, but it wasn't the right timing for them, or they just weren't in the right emotional mindset at that time because, they felt like love was supposed to come to them in a different sort of way. They didn't think that love was going to come to them with all of this hardship. To them, that was very confusing. They didn't understand why there was so much emotional hardship. If this was true love, it didn't make any damn sense, because they thought true love was supposed to be a magical fairy tale. But they're starting to realize now, when they look back at fairy tales, or just when they look at the past more fondly, they're starting to remember that, okay, yeah, love is a fairy tale, but in order to get to the happy ending, you have to go through a lot of hardship. I mean, every great love story involves a tremendous amount of hardship, for better or worse. So they're realizing that now, and they're sort of realizing that the whole journey up to this point has been one about understanding that real love requires you to do hard work, and it requires you to go through difficult experiences. It requires you to confront all of those worries and fears, and it makes it necessary to be able to learn how to accept somebody for who they are. And allow somebody in. So what I get at the end of this is, at the beginning we have the King of Wands. This is an explorer, someone who's very philosophical, and they need to experience the world before they can really understand the world. So they've been there from in the beginning. They took that stance. They chose other things. They chose to pursue other things that maybe they thought were easier, although they ended up having hardship with those things as well, because that's just what life is all about. But they wanted to explore possibilities outside of just being with you, because they thought that would be an easier life, basically. And what they're realizing now is that if they want this 10 of Pentacles, where they have all of their needs met, they're prosperous, they have happiness, interconnection, a sense of community, a sense of spiritual well-being, a sense of stability. They've had this freedom, and now they are wanting more of the stability. I think they still want both, but they want this as sort of like their foundation now. And they realize that, achieving that now with you is going to take a lot of work. But I feel like, they're starting to realize that that's just part of it. So if that's what they really want, then they really have to do the hard work. It seems like that's the realization that they're coming to. So let's see what our Romance Angels Oracle card says. It says this could be the one. You've already met the romantic partner you seek. So remember, this entire reading is a message from your true love. So it feels like they recognize as well, like we said, they're recognizing that if this is what they want, that you're the person who's going to be able to take them to that in the way that they always wanted. So that's nice. There's a sense of recognition on their part. And then what we get from the Keepers of the Light Oracle cards by Kyle Gray and Lily Moses is this card. It says, the Miriam, Sacred Vision. Choose to forgive in order to heal. See the light in all. Remember that love has no boundaries. So again, what I'm getting here is that this person is looking back on the past and all of the hardships associated with trying to have something meaningful with you, trying to have anything that would work with you at all. They're thinking about all of the hardships associated with that, and they had been doing a lot of blaming you for that. They had blamed you for certain ways that their life turned out, which were ultimately beyond your control. So they're realizing that they wrongly blamed you for things, choices that they made. And, they're finding forgiveness. They're taking that. It's not even forgiveness so much as understanding that blame was unfairly placed on you for things. But it is forgiveness as well. Forgiveness for, because they really are coming from a higher place of not wanting to paint you in a negative light anymore. They want to be able to enjoy the real you, which is the more positive, your more positive attributes. So they're seeing the light in you, even at those times when they were most disappointed or most hurt by you. They're able to look at those moments differently now, and they're definitely seeing you in a very positive light right now. So we are going to wrap up the reading by pulling this fortune cookie. Okay, this is nice. Okay, there's an airplane flying overhead, so I'm going to wait a minute. Oklahoma City. Alrighty, hang in there. Okay. Let's try to make it focus. Okay. Treat yourself to something of quality. You deserve it. So it's kind of like, this is, I feel like if they could, they would want to treat you to something of quality. They would want to do something nice for you. So in separation, they're saying, do that on my behalf. Treat yourself nicely, because that's the way you deserve to be treated. So that was a really nice reading. I enjoyed that. So those of you who chose number 1, that has been your reading. And give me some feedback in the comments, like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Okay. Those of you who chose number 2, your leaf fell apart during the first reading. Anyway, here we are, reading number 2. Okay, let's see. You can see very well. Okay. So give me just a minute to look at the cards myself. I just set them up in the dark because I had the camera paused. Okay, so 5 of Wands. This is what your true love is wanting most to say to you, or what they would say to you if they could. 5 of Wands, Ace of Pentacles, the Sun, the Emperor, 3 of Wands, and Page of Swords. Okay. So it feels like this is definitely a relationship where there has been, a lot of conflict, or just a lot of conversations where people are trying to work out their differences. Not necessarily conflict, because sometimes these can be very constructive conversations, but I definitely feel people have been in the past, saying things. I feel like with the 5 of Wands here, it even could be like there's an issue regarding like gossip or something. Like there has been a lot of gossip in the past. A lot of gossip, a lot of people not agreeing, people trying to cooperate, but not, cooperate because they needed to do something together. They were trying to accomplish a project or a goal together, but there was a lot of infighting in the process. So this is involving more than just you. I also, with the Sun card, because the Sun card in this deck is kind of like the 3 of Cups, we have 3 people enjoying this moment of joy, and then the 5 of Wands. It just seems like there are a lot of people involved with this relationship. So it could just be that one or both of you is a very social person, and so you're not just spending time alone, just the 2 of you, but a lot of times you're spending time with other friends and family members, or people you're involved with in organizations or churches or something like that. but there are a lot of other people around the relationship. And so sometimes there are arguments regarding those other people, maybe the two of you in your own relationship or connection with each other. Maybe you don't always agree with each other on whether or not you like the way that one person is behaving or like their ideas or something like that. And so this is where they're coming from, is the Five of Wands. Part of what the Five of Wands tells us is that all of this stuff was really just so trivial to begin with. None of it was really as important as anyone was making it out to be. For the most part, these were just like ideas, or different people having different perspectives, which is fine. And the person coming through to you, your true love, is recognizing, they're recognizing more so that this was very petty, all of this gossip and shit happening behind the scenes. So they're realizing that more now, and that's kind of what they would like to say to you is, hey, I realize this. I don't know, the first reading was also going back to the past a lot, so I'm wondering if this is because we're in Venus retrograde as I'm making these, but it seems like lots of true loves out there thinking about the past and how the past of their connection is affecting the present of their connection. So I feel like people watching, this is not a new love. So whoever's coming through in this reading is someone who you've known for a long time. So anyway, so they recognized there was a lot of pettiness in the past. They did not want to be concerned with that. They wanted to plant a seed that would lead them to happiness and joy, and they just didn't have any interest in being involved in fighting or arguing or conflict, even if that conflict was happening in search of something better. They're like, I just wanted to create my something better without having to, go through these disagreements and conversations about it first. I just wanted to do my own thing and plant my own seed for happiness in the future. Some of you, there might be like a social justice aspect of this. I don't know. But, yeah, so they just wanted to be happy in and of themselves. So they're saying that to you, like, just understand that there are different types of people in the world. Not everybody is the same way. No, but not everyone wants to pursue happiness in the same way. And we can agree or disagree on what the best way to it is for everyone, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. So maybe they have a different idea of how everyone is supposed to achieve social justice and happiness than you, and they didn't feel like you would accept their different viewpoint. This person is someone who really has always had big plans for themselves, and they just want you to know that that's an important part of who that they are. They do also feel connected to spirituality, and they are not sure that you know that about them, but they are interested maybe in some of the same spiritual topics as you are. They even feel like they would like to talk to you about spirituality, and just to let you know some of what they know, or that, they would just enjoy having more conversations about spiritual topics with you. So they want to go from this past where conversation seems so petty and trivial and superficial, and they would love to fast forward that to today when they feel like maybe a higher form of communication could happen than what happened in the past. Okay, so let's look at the Romance Angels Oracle card. It says, let your friends help you, ask for and accept support from others. So we got from the very beginning that this involves a lot of people. This isn't just a one-on-one relationship that's mostly being discussed here. This may even be someone who's more of a true love friend. There might be a romantic love aspect to it for some of you, but for some of you, it might just primarily be a friendship that was always platonic, or just some, an important friendship. So, yeah. And if this was someone you definitely had a romantic involvement with, then there needs to be a lot of healing had, with all of these different friends involved. Or there needs to be a recognition of the strength of those friendships, maybe. Okay. So we get Mercury, open communication, get a weight off your chest, speak up with love, and be heard. So that makes sense, because all we've been talking about is the way that people have been communicating. And people need to communicate more openly now and be heard. And I feel like people are trying to find the words they can use to be heard by you right now, so that you'll understand that they're coming from a very positive and loving place if they do speak to you. I feel like they don't know if they're going to or not. Or they don't know if they can say this or not. It's definitely something they're thinking about. And your fortune cookie. Okay. Your respect for others will be your ticket to success. Your respect for others will be your ticket to success. So this is interesting, because I feel like I've kind of seen this message in a couple of different other readings that I've seen online. Your respect for others will be your ticket to success. So like, people wanting you to recognize that not everyone has the same viewpoint in life, and that that's okay. And also letting you know that they recognize, that you had a different viewpoint from them. And so that made it difficult for you always to see eye to eye on things. And, they just want the weight of all of that conflict from the past to be off of everyone's shoulders. They just want to respect you and to be respected. I don't feel like they want much from you beyond that. But they, at the very least, they want mutual respect and the weight to be lifted off of everyone's shoulders. And for some people, this might actually involve a conversation. For some people, it might just be that they're thinking about it and almost praying about it, because this does seem like a spiritual person. They might be sending the message out to you in a more spiritual way, maybe like through prayer or something like that, or just, sending kind thoughts your way, because they want to alter their own feelings. They want to let go of some of their own difficult feelings about this situation so that they can feel better about things. So, all right. Well, that was a pretty cool reading. All right, so let me guys know in the comments what you thought about that, and also make sure to subscribe if you'd like to see more. Thanks.